Welcome to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
I'm your co-host, Dr. Wayne Moore.
Always a pleasure to host with you.
It is, my friend. It is. We're going to have a great time today.
Absolutely.
We got Lee Cossack and Crawley with us. We have the Fervent Care Christian Academy with us. We also have Marion County Public Health Department, who's coming out with a brand new program for infant mortality rate, talking about safe sleep program that's going to help the community combat, hopefully, some of this infant mortality.
And we appreciate their sponsorship.
We love them. We want them to stay on board.
Yeah.
Whatever they need done, we'll be right here to get it done for them.
Yeah, and in just a little bit, we have, and I should say before I say that, we want to encourage you to go on WHMB TV 40 on YouTube, and you can watch this show when it's over, and other shows that you might have missed, and on Facebook.
Right, and don't forget us, we're there. And we're giving you information that will help you understand, excuse me, how to move throughout the community and how to touch bases with those whom you need to touch bases with.
I want to encourage you to watch us on Sundays at 5:30 p.m.
Right.
And on Friday nights at 9:30, twice a week.
Twice a week.
Double dose.
Yeah.
Real People, Real Voices.
Oh man, Real People, Real Voices, phenomenal show. It's moving throughout the community. People, everywhere I go, people talk about this particular show. And we want you to stay tuned and pray for us mainly, that we can bring information that you need in your community.
Stay with us. When we come back, we have the recruiter for the Indiana State Police, Sergeant Roosevelt Williams. Back. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices, and we're joined by Sergeant Roosevelt Williams. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's good.
Happy to have you, Roosevelt, Sergeant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
With the Indiana State Police.
The cream of the crop is what I call it.
Well, if you don't, nobody else will.
Right.
Yeah, how long you been doing this?
I started the academy in October 2011, so I'm coming up on my 7th full year of enforcement this weekend, which will come with a nice little raise too.
Oh, yeah, you all did get a raise last year.
Correct. We got over 2 years, we got a 24% pay raise.
24%. I haven't known anybody to get a 24%. I guess that's if you work for the state, the legislation take care of you.
Well, it was well overdue.
And so when it comes to recruiting, what age, what are the age parameters?
So just depending on the opportunity, for state trooper, you can apply at the age of 20. You just need to be at least 21 by appointment and less than 40 by appointment. And that's all. The 21 is you have to be that minimum age based on law enforcement in Indiana. And then 40 is for our pension, so you got to be less than 40. For our Capitol Police section, it's similar as far as you can apply at the age of 20, but there's no max age. So when I talk to older folks, I tell them I have an opportunity for you. Just because you're 42, 43, or 46, or 50, I still have a career path that you can take to still work towards a pension as well.
For the state police, the Capitol Police? Right,
it's a subsection of the Indiana State Police.
Really?
Correct.
Yeah,
wow.
Didn't know about that.
Yeah, what they make an hour?
So they first year, they about 44,000, somewhere around there.
Really?
Really? Am I too old for that job?
You're not too old. You're not too old.
All I gotta do is pass the drug test, right?
That and along with other things, but yes.
Do I have to do a test and all that, running and jumping and all that kind of
Right.
stuff?
So the selection process consists of the very first test for the state trooper consists of a written exam first, and then you have your physical abilities test, oral interview, polygraph examination, background investigation, your drug screening, and then your medical psych evaluation.
So are you guys challenged with regard to folks for the Capitol Police?
It's not a agency where you running and gunning, so to speak. It's more so the safeguarding of the state employees downtown Indianapolis, the state government building, and the state house with the state representative. So it's not a particular agency where you see a lot of young folks wanting to go that want to be on the street and pull over cars, serve warrants and stuff like that. It's more of a laid back type of agency.
So how do you become a state trooper?
So the very first thing is we do online application. But what I would encourage all interested applicants is to reach out to a recruiter. I am here personally to serve you. Let me be a mentor to you to help guide you along this process. Maybe there's things in your background and history that may prohibit you from moving forward in the process this year, but maybe next year you reach that goal. So the very first thing I'd encourage you to do, reach out to a recruiter. We accept application online. And once you put in your application, once we close the application, the selection process starts. And the selection process consists of that written exam and physical ability test.
And what are some of the benefits?
So your benefit is your pay matrix start off in the academy. So we pay you to train. I was at a job fair yesterday, and I was talking to some students. They was like, "Oh, how much do we got to pay to go to the academy?" We pay you to go to the academy. So in the academy, you get paid $42,000, so roughly $1,600 every 2 weeks while you're at the academy. And we pay for all your meals, we pay for your clothing, your uniforms, equipment. So the only thing you pay for is the underwear you come in at, and we pay for everything while you're there. So once you graduate the academy, your pay go up to $48,000, and once you get a year on, your pay go to $52,000. So about a year and a half, you get a $10,000 pay increase from the day you start the academy. Then every year on your anniversary, you get a pay increase as well. So when I talked about my anniversary is coming up here soon on the 16th, I would then get a pay increase on my anniversary date. And if you go up in rank, so our rank structure is similar to the military. So once you go up in rank, you get a pay increase as well. So you go all the way up to, you can be appointed to a major in our department. So that's your financial benefit. And then you have your insurance, health insurance, life insurance. We have fairly good health insurance. We have a pension, which when you talk to young adults, don't know much about. But I tell you, I started when I was 21, and I can retire at 46 with a pension. Wow. So that's a huge point I push to young adults. Pension. Yesterday at the job fair, I was like, I can guarantee you only 2 or 3 of these organizations out of the 70 plus employers here offers a pension. So we have that pension, and our pension consists of your top 3 paid years, which is different than some other agencies. So your top 3 paid year, you can max out at 34 years and receive 78.5% of your top 3 years. So to put that in perspective, I use a round number, so 100,000. So my top 3 years, I made 100,000 each year. You can walk away at 78,500 a year the rest of your life. Something happened to you and your spouse, take 50% of that, if you passed away. So it's a great pension program, and we monitor our own pension, so no other state agency has a hand in our pension program. And of course, your vacation days, you get 12 vacation days when you first start off. Once you get 5 to 10 years, you get 15, 10 to 15, you get more days off. Personal leave days, sick days, family leave days. If you was having the birth of a child or adopting a child, you get days off for that as well. Military benefits, we offer you the opportunity to buy back any military service. So if you have a military individual that did 4 years of service, they can do 4 years of that and 21 years with us and retire with a 25-year pension. So you can utilize that as well. And then we recently partnered with Indiana Tech, where you will come out of our academy just shy of an associate's degree. So they will give you college credits towards an associate's, and then they will also give you 20% off tuition. So different benefits as far as that.
How long does it take to get through the academy?
The academy is six months. So we just ended the hiring process here a couple weeks ago. So they will begin academy June 30th, and they will graduate December 19th. And in the academy, it's roughly, give or take, about 1,000 hours of training. And that training is going to consist of everything. Communication skills, de-escalation skills, driving techniques, fighting techniques. So it's going to teach you everything: criminal law, traffic law, first aid. And majority of all, if not all, the classes will be taught by troopers or senior troopers on the department. So kind of if we can, talk about that selection process.
We will.
Selection? Yeah, that'll be something we can come back after the break
Okay.
and talk in detail.
And some diversity as well.
Right.
Okay.
So stay with us. We'll be back after this. Well, welcome back to the show, and we're glad that you're here. And we are here with Indiana State Trooper Sergeant Roosevelt Williams.
Thank you.
And before the break, I think we're getting ready to talk about the selection process.
Selection process, and then we're going to talk about the diversity and
Right.
how the United States Police are trying to do the best they can to create some diversity.
Correct.
Go right ahead.
So the selection process we talked about earlier was that written exam. It's going to cover your basic high school material, language, art, grammar, spelling, punctuation. And we kind of tweaked some things in our process to help candidates. So this past year we offer informational sessions and also study guides to help prepare those candidates. The process itself is pretty tough, and not every applicant will make it to that polygraph phase. So I encourage folks to make sure you put your best foot forward, and it's taking advantage of all the resources that we provide to you to kind of separate yourself from the rest of the candidates. And that one thing is that study guide. If you study guide and we give you another study guide the day of the test and give you time to study that, if you take advantage of that time and those study guides, you can do exceptionally well on that written exam. So you have to pass the previous phase to move on to the next phase. So you have to pass the written exam to move on to the physical abilities test. And we have a condensed process where most law enforcement processes somewhere between 6 months to a year. Our selection process is 90 days, so it'll move fairly quick. So once you pass the written exam, the following weekend will be your physical abilities test and your oral interview. So that's going to consist of push-ups, sit-ups, mile-and-a-half run, 300-meter run, and a vertical jump, which is all doable standards. The biggest thing is making sure that you're putting your best foot forward. Some people will come in and just do the minimum standard. That's great, but you're still competing for a job. So if you remember, not everybody will make it to the polygraph.
Right.
So you based on how you rank amongst everybody else in that selection process, your goal should be is to exceed those minimum standards to move on to the interview and the polygraph. The interview itself is a structured interview. Every applicant has the answer to every question because life experience, decision making, accountability, dependability, things that we look for in troopers.
Outstanding. So the department as it is, with regard to women working in the department, particularly black women, what are you all seeing? And if you don't see a lot, how are you all fixing that?
Right. There's not a lot on the department, and that's been the primary focus of the superintendent, is to ensure that our department reflects the demographic of the state. So it's one of the things I've been tasked with is reestablishing relationship with different minority organizations to get the word out, letting minority communities know that this is a valuable career path that you can take. And over the last 2 years, me being in this position, I've reached out to tons of different organizations, faith-based organizations like the Urban League, the 100 Black Men's. So we're reaching out to in a variety of different organizations, minority organizations, and community events to get the word out. At the message I pass along at Pastor Moore Church all the time is I'm here to serve as a mentor. So if you interested in, not sure, come talk to me. Let me help guide you through this process. We are definitely pushing minority and female recruitment efforts. In both categories, we are lacking. So we're making good effort towards getting those numbers back up.
How many is going into the academy who's scheduled to graduate in December?
So that has not been selected yet.
Okay.
So those individuals will be selected by May.
Okay.
By May. And I know
How many applications are you looking at?
we start off with about 1,500 applications. This point in our selection process, we're probably around 300.
Okay.
Down to 300. And just before doing the show, got a message from a minority applicant that I've been recruiting. And, hey, I just passed this part of the process. I'm like, congratulations.
That's good.
Keep going through that process. If you listen, we can get you there.
Okay.
If you listen.
Yeah.
So or speak to other opportunities, civilian jobs.
Right. So we have tons of civilian jobs, and it's the heartbeat of our agency, different civilians in different places. We have civilian jobs that range from clerical assistant to forensic scientists, HR personnel, mechanics, folks to install equipment on our cars.
Is that now hiring or?
They generally hire about 3 or 4 times a month. So generally they will open up hiring on a Friday and it will end the following Friday. And dispatcher's position is another position that opens up frequently. So what I encourage folks that's not quite sure if they want to be in law enforcement is, try the civilian side of things. And if you go to our website and you don't see a civilian job that you're interested in, check back next week because we do hire, generally speaking, about 3 or 4 times a month for civilian jobs. The pay range it ranges, but most of these jobs, once high school graduate, when I was 18, I was making $725. You can come out and be a dispatcher for $30,000 as an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, and most of the time, our dispatchers end up becoming troopers. So right now in this process, we got 5 dispatchers that's in this trooper process. So it could be a stepping stone to help get your ducks in a row, so to speak, to help prepare yourself for this career path.
You want to be sure to get that website on the screen there, www.in.gov/ISP. Again, that's www.in.gov/ISP. And
If you want to give it to Roosevelt, it's R. Williams, everything's lowercase, R. Williams 2 at ISPIN .gov. ISP.in.gov.
Correct.
R. Williams 2 at ISP.in.gov.
that's important because Sergeant Williams can kind of help guide them through the process.
And everybody needs a mentor.
Correct.
Especially in this process, because you have a lot of fallout.
It's a tough process.
Yeah.
It's a tough process. And it ranges, encouraging people to stay around, to surround themselves with good people. You don't want to be driving around with a buddy that, does drugs and,
Want to be a trooper.
You get stopped by the police and, you with a guy that's selling drugs or doing drugs or stuff like that, or even as small as tattoos. Right now we have a tight tattoo policy, so
Really?
making sound decisions on that. Talking to individuals yesterday, a young lady wanted to put warrior on her forearm. Wait before you do that. Get into the career before you decide.
You want to put warrior on there or work? Which one do you want?
Right. So I told her, wait before you do that. Don't just go, blast warrior on there. And now I'm like, and it's not just law enforcement, but it was 70 employers in there, but every employer in there is gonna have a frown face on the individual that come in there.
And what they need to know, young people need to know, that law enforcement, because you're representing them,
Right.
They even look at your Facebook page.
Right. We do. Yep.
Yeah, you look at your Facebook page. So you need to be very careful what you put on Facebook.
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We check them all.
Yeah. So I just thought I'd tell you that.
Heads up.
Heads up, and don't be doing no drugs.
Right.
You can't get on the police department doing drugs. It's not cool to do that.
Most rewarding part of the job?
Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
Most rewarding part is no 2 days ever been the same. So if you don't want to do the same thing over and over again, there's probably a path for you. Like I said, I've been doing it just a short 7 years, but not one day has been the same. You may plan on doing X, Y, and Z, but then a foot chase came on that changed your whole day, or a vehicle pursuit, or what have you. Or I thought I'm about to stop a few cars today and then end up helping the family change a tire or get them to a hotel or something. Or I had cases where I took a family, to a different county because, the car broke down. So every day has been different since I've been on the department. That's rewarding because I'm helping people, I'm deterring crime. My presence alone deter crime. So.
Well, thanks for being a great officer and a great guest today.
Keep up the good work, Roosevelt, and we want some of you brothers and sisters to get on with the Indiana State Police. You can do that.
Yeah. And the age does not limit you.
And if you're over the hill, go work at the Capitol building.
Over the hill.
Yeah, they take you in.
Well, thanks for joining us. And we got the rundown. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
I'm your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
And I'm your executive producer, Faith McKinney.
Let's thank our sponsors.
Yeah, we want to thank Lee Cossack and Crawley and Fervent Care Christian Academy. We want to thank Marion County Public Health Department.
New
for
sponsor.
Brand new sponsor. They're going to be pushing the infant mortality rate, and we're going to start doing it right here on WHMB TV, channel number 40.
Yeah, outstanding.
Yes.
And speaking of community, the Indiana State Troopers are looking for more troopers.
Right. Women, too.
Yeah, there's an array of opportunities.
Yeah, and to hear the pension, and to hear
Oh, my
the
God,
benefits.
That was amazing.
They're going to pay you, what, 40-some thousand to go through the academy?
44,000.
Just to go through the academy.
But that's the hardest training you'll ever have. I mean, it is grueling. But once you get through, it'll be worth it. I spoke with Mr. Williams before, and he's looking statewide to fill these positions. And man, it's going to be tough. But the people who really want it and the people who qualify,
They'll prepare themselves.
yes, absolutely, yeah, they'll have a great career.
And they have civilian jobs as well.
And those are pretty good
Yeah.
with regard to pay and benefits, and could be a stepping stone into becoming a trooper.
Yes, and Walmart is going to be losing greeters. They're going to get rid of the greeters. And so those of you who want to go from Walmart to the Capitol building, you can be a Capitol Police.
There's, as he indicated,
qualify.
the age limit there is more flexible.
Yeah, all the way up to 50 or more.
Well, more than that. I mean, they
wow.
didn't have an age
They
limit.
didn't have an
on
age limit,
But you have to be able to get through the training, which is 14, 15
14,
weeks.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
And pass the drug test, of
Yeah,
course.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, a
absolutely.
lot of people can't get jobs because of drug tests.
Absolutely.
We
That's-
pray for.
That's another show.
Yeah, it is.
We were talking about that on one of our shows, and we kind of got off there. But it's really something I think people need to start looking at with regard to legalizing CBD oil and all that sort of thing. But for those of you who want to be state troopers, please take that information down that's on the screen and go to the website. They're hiring all the time, as the sergeant told us.
Yeah, hiring all the time. So you need to take advantage of that and make sure you can become a part of a good career.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.